Let's talk about the LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets, the 4-5 matchup. Here is how it breaks out from the season. These two teams had the same record, 50 and 32. Of course, the Clippers have been balling the second half of the season. They have been the hottest team in the Western Conference going into this game. Meanwhile, Denver, it's kind of been a bit of a rocky season. Of course, they just fired their head coach from the last 10 years, Michael Malone, and now they're going to be in a tough series with the LA Clippers. Both teams with lots of experience, teams with champions, teams with all-stars. Nick, where do we start with this series? Because to me, this could be the best series of the first round.
I absolutely think it's the best series. I mean, you have two teams with the same exact record that are like evenly matched as it gets. I think it's going to go 7 games, no matter who wins it. But I think like the Zoo defensive matchup on Jokic is a huge point of contention because he's one of the best defenders that Jokic has gone up against historically, and Jokic is the best player on the planet. So that's just going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, that's going to be a matchup to watch for sure with how, of course, Jokic having potentially another MVP season and Zubats having potentially an all NBA season. He's been that good. He's been so good and so reliable for the Clippers. And historically, he's actually had pretty great games against Jokic in his career. Looking at the matchups, I'm interested to see if Denver will actually be able to guard the Clippers consistently with how the Clippers have been rolling coming into this game. When you look at James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, who are both playing great together right now. Of course, you have Norman Powell there, and then, of course, Zubats. Who do you think the Nuggets will try to put on those guys? I mean, you would expect Aaron Gordon to probably be the guy to guard Kawhi, but who guards James Harden to start this series?
I believe they would start Brown and MPJ with Russ coming off the bench. So I'd probably put either MPJ or Brown on Harden, the other one on Norm.
Yeah, and then I guess you'd put Michael Porter on Chris Dunn. I mean, for the Clippers, Chris Dunn's going to need to make some perimeter shots.
Put Murray on Dunn, put MPJ on Norm, and Brown on Harden, or vice versa with Harden and MPJ, or with Brown and MPJ.
That's probably how they'll match it up. I mean, for the Clippers, they're going to need Chris Dunn to knock down some shots because, as he has been great defensively all season, the Nuggets need to just leave him open, basically, and let him be the guy to beat you, because you cannot let James Harden beat you. You can't let Kawhi beat you, and heck, you can't let Norman Powell beat you with the way that he's played this season. And then when you take a look at the bench units, both of these teams, have benches that they've been able to rely on slightly this season, more so for the Clippers than the Denver Nuggets. But overall, the Nuggets obviously have Nikola Jokic, who's been the best player in the league, for the last few seasons, and had his best year this year. So overall, man, this was super tough for me to figure out with this series. I think it is going to go the distance, 7 games. But honestly, I think the series is going to come down to maybe not who the best player of the series is, but who is number 2, number 3, number 4 after that. Because to me, I think that in this overall series, Jokic is probably going to be the best player in the overall series. But if there is a world where it goes Jokic, then Kawhi and Harden and Powell, before you get to another Denver Nugget, I don't think the Nuggets can win that series if it is Jokic and then the Clippers are just going gangbuster mode on the offensive end.
I mean, yeah, I would agree.
But
that would be hugely hard to overcome if Jamal Murray is not factored in like top 5 of the top 4 of the series.
And Jamal Murray, of course, has been known to rise up in the playoffs over his career, really every year besides last year. So I'm excited to see how he plays, trying to bounce back after the disappointing finish to their season last year.
We're not doing predictions yet?
Yeah, we want to get into predictions. Let's see what we all got here. I've got them all here.
Okay, cool.
And we're split. We are split. I've got the Clippers winning this in 7. Nick's got the Nuggets winning in 7. Jackson has Clips in 6. Joey has the Nuggets in 6. So we are all across the board here, as it should be. It should be one of these outcomes. I mean, if this series is 5 games long, whoever loses needs to be ashamed of themselves, and that there will be huge questions going into the offseason. I think that there is something to be said for playing your best basketball going into the playoffs, and the Clippers are right now looking as healthy as ever. But of course, they are led by Kawhi Leonard, who has questions with injury, and James Harden, who, while he's had a great year, can be inconsistent in the playoffs. He has been the last few seasons, whether it is the Clippers last year or for Philly, the 2 years before that. So I see this going 7 games and coming down to the wire, but I've got the Clippers coming out with this. Nick, why do you have the Nuggets?
They have a better chance to beat OKC.
Okay, I already look.
Well, actually, that's not, I guess, a good reason. Altitude. There's a good reason.
There is a good reason.
7th game in the altitude. Best player in the series. I think Jamal Murray's going to show up. Aaron Gordon's having maybe his most productive year of his career. And I like the 6-man rotation that they got with Christian Brown and Russ. Even though I think the Clippers have the bench advantage, like you talked about with Derrick Jones and Bogdanovich. I just think the Nuggets are going to have the slightest edge.
Yeah, but I think it is slight. I think this is the best series of the first round, and hopefully it goes the distance and we have great performances, from all those star players, because this series is probably going to come down to which star player doesn't perform in more games. And to me, I've got Jamal Murray just being a little worse in the series than James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. But I could totally, it's Jokic and Jamal Murray in the playoffs. It is hard to pick against them as well. Super tough first round series. Nick, you have anything else on this series?
No, sir, but I don't hate your logic.
Yeah, I think you could, any case you could make for this series, as long as it goes 6 or 7 games. I can't be mad with the argument, with any argument for this series.